My name's Nancy Gail Fox, and I'm a psychic medium, and I'll be channeling John F. Kennedy for you in this YouTube, and he would like to explain that horrible sex slavery is run under Los Angeles County and has been for ages, decades. Long ago, they started doing this through the hated Child Protective Services Agency offices, and unfortunately, many criminals pretend they're doing that job position who are not in the least. They are not in it to protect children at all, or anybody for that matter. They are in it to capture people as sex slaves for their kiddie porn they do under LA. They are doing this under the houses where they live, and they say they are CIA top secret agents. They also say they work for the Patriots Act agency as secret servicemen, and they may say they're the LA watchdogs and that they are covering their case files. Many people are not case files at all, and many never hear of such a thing. Many have been at some point in their life, years and years back even. Closed case files, they call them open when they're not. They go to judges' houses, tap on their door at midnight and 1 a.m. is usually the time frame, or sometimes 5 p.m. at a real courthouse, and they say, "Oh, sir, I need a warrant to cover my case file. I need to monitor them from the streets on spy cam equipment," when really it's for gang stalking purposes, and they are doing remotes on their dashboard, which is electronic harassment. They are monitors gang stalking, pretending they're covering case files when most are not case files at all. They get warrants to cover them when there is no reason to in the least. They are doing this to take innocent babies from their mother's arms and to take the mother to a hospital by an ambulance call when she doesn't need medical attention at all. They will arrive and they will give them shots of heroin and methamphetamine, and they will do this and force it upon them by 10 of them in nurse outfits with a stethoscope on and a name tag that's their photo laminated, which they did themselves. They will tie off their arm with knitting yarn they buy at Joann's craft store, I say on Riverside and Fulton. That's where they do go, and to the dry cleaners near there to alter their new nurse uniforms. And most are not even nurses. They are just pretending. Really, they are young ladies who fool everybody, and they are really pedophiles. And that is what they are. They are sex addicts, addicted to sex torture, unfortunately. They are trained at a young age. They are shot up with drugs, probably against their will, and they are trained to be child molesters. And they really are a satanic cult, as the leaders are training young women and teens to do this. And they are doing it by getting them addicted to drugs. They shoot them up with methamphetamine, and then they get them in a sex orgy, and then heroin afterwards, they say in a really warmed up, real silver spoon. And those are the words they use, messaging, and they say amongst themselves. And that is a line they say all night and day, amongst themselves. And that is their secret kiddie porn snuff movie messaging they do to get people. And the whole reason they sit around and lie to crowds of people in malls and car washes and supermarkets and everywhere is to brainwash people against the person, so they will think they need help, which they do not. The help they need is to get these pedophiles away. Is the whole point, their motive operandi is to get people for their flicks. They call them flicks, and they wear many disguises. They wear candy striper uniforms in a hospital and change blankets, and that is for baby snatching. And they will wear a blue outfit another day, yellow and peachy keen and mulberry, and they say all these colors all the time, what color nurse uniform they are wearing that day, which they altered at a dry cleaners by Fulton and Riverside Drive. They are in Studio City. They are at the Howard Johnson's Hotel. They are pretending to be a banquet worker in the parking lot. They are pretending to be Food and Drug Administration workers in markets between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. And they are in there putting microchips in the food, lying they're a relaxing pellet for a case file, when the person is not even a case file. They could have been 10 years ago, they could have been 2 days ago, they could have been 25, 15 years ago, or it could be a case file they haven't opened yet, a person they're framing that they just started to frame recently. And they lie they are doing relaxing pellets in food when no, they are computer microchips. They call them microwave chips to each other. They always use the word microwave, and that is for electronic harassment. That is to torture the people, and that is what they do in their cars, on their dashboard, on remotes and levers. And they are gang stalkers doing electronic harassment, pretending that they are caseworkers. And they get the job as a caseworker to fool the public. And that's for baby snatching. That is for taking toddlers, children, teens, and so on away from their nice single mother, and unwed mothers they target also. And that's for you to know. It is so horrible, people can't comprehend it. But how else would you get a baby or a toddler for kiddie porn? A child, a 5-year-old, many 5-year-old girls, they buy lots of 5-year-old party dresses at many stores. And that's one way you might catch them. Who is buying nurse uniforms? And are they really nurses? Who is having them altered at 7 dry cleaners? Who is buying yarn at Joann Fabric Store in Sherman Oaks, California? And you need to follow my tips. Who is laminating their photograph at a place and putting it on a cord around their neck? See, who is buying brand new white cars every week or leasing them that have paper tags and paper plates? Who is taking these brand new cars, SUVs, open back white trucks also, tall white vans? Who is taking the new cars to a mechanic to install remotes on the dashboard? They say they are monitoring case files and doing remotes to relax people. No, they are torturing targeted individuals to murder them in kiddie porn and snuff films. And everything they say is generally the opposite, as they are the devil number 9. They need to shut down every CPS office and every other name-related DCFS included, especially in San Fernando Valley, LA County, all of California, and in many other states in America. They do it the exact same way. Colorado, New York, and so on. They are doing this in North Carolina, and they are doing it in part of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and Cincinnati, Ohio, and all over America and all over the world. They are doing it in London for ages this way. They will take a beautiful family, rob them blind, lie they have reason to be covering them by sting equipment, which they do not. Then they force them into the welfare system and then adopt the children to sex slavery and say the parents couldn't provide while they sit there with all their money in the bank. And that's how they do it. It is plain old bank robbery and murder. It is cold-blooded killing. And so is electronic harassment, gang stalking. That is murder number 9. And that's a felony crime. And that is against the law. And they should have their steering wheels locked. They should have all the cars impounded and searched for remotes that are electrocuting individual people and little babies included who swallowed a microchip in their juice or baby food or formula. And that is what they do. They kill babies, and they're addicted to them. They're addicted to sex torturing. They are wasted on meth and heroin, packs of them piled on top of each other, having orgies under LA County. They build rooms, that they get to by walking through a sewer tunnel. They go downstairs behind the markets that say city workers. They might say they are street sweepers, the street sweeper committee. They meet at donut shops at 7:30 and wear a pith helmet and khaki pants and work boots and pretend to work under the streets. Then they go in the market with the FDA apron on, put microchips in food to kill everyone, and random people too. So the whole population is in danger of being murdered by a microchip in food. And they really should shut down all the stores and find a way to check for microchips. Everyone should check at every checkout stand, including 7-Eleven. They should be checking twice and have a way to scan to see is there microchips by a bell going off or something like this, especially baby food, children's cookies, fruit, potatoes, everything. These devils put them in to murder the population. And random people, they can tell if they eat a chip, swallow it, then they know to put them on the list also. So anybody could be killed by this pack at any time of the day. So they do the microchips from 8 to 9 after they meet at a donut shop at 7:30. And the 50 of them go behind the market and get their meth injection, put FDA bibbed aprons on, go in the markets, put the chips in, switch the food out, and say they're covering for the FDA. Then a little while later, they're in the baby nursery wearing a candy striper outfit or a blue nurse uniform, yellow, peach, many colors. They have a different color every day, I believe. And then they're in the hospital snatching babies to kill them. And then they're knocking on doors, showing up in a pack to shoot people up with meth, amphetamine, and heroin, and Ajax, a mixture they call it. And then they haul them off, and then they are gang raped at hotels. They lie the hotels are for their DCFS group family therapy, and they lie the shots to relax them. They say the microchip's a pellet to relax them. They lie the remotes are to relax them. No, it is all for murder. Number 9. They use the word relax to cover it up. And that's from me, John F. Kennedy, to say I'm never signing off. I'm working night and day to stop slavery, and it is run through government agencies, as many gang stalker WordPresses do say. And there are many places such as Stop Peg, a 4-in-1, and their STOPPEG, and there are many other sites that explain this exactly this way. And I explained it by my medium, Nancy Gill Fox, and then she read it on the gang stalker sites. The same crime tips I gave her, and they match up. And that is how they do it, by pretending to be a caring government agent, and they are not. So they must close down. They should all have be on a house arrest. They should have a gag order to not talk about anybody, as they just lie all night and day. And they all need a keep-away order. They need restraining orders. They are the danger to the families. They are the most dangerous criminals in history. And they will show up, 25 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful nurse uniform, looking so sweet and caring, and they are nothing of the kind. It is to fool neighborhoods. They go around dropping off gift bags to neighbors that is stolen property. It is stolen from the people they are stalking. It is stolen money and stolen UPS, FedEx gifts they rob night and day at all the UPS offices on Ventura Boulevard. And they rob the person's money at all the ATMs at 8 a.m. on Ventura Boulevard with a double ATM card that lies the poor person is disabled, who is not at all. And that's how they steal their money. That's one way. And by hacking, they siphon out PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Western Union, bank deposits, and you name it, because they say, we got a court warrant from the judge to cover our case file. We're taking control of their money, their mail, and medical. And that is to rob them and murder them. And it's very simple and very matter of fact. They must be shut down as they are very dangerous, and criminals are not allowed in society, are they? Thank you very much. From me, John F. Kennedy, to say, please shut down DCFS and CPS, and please check them out. Do a breathalyzer, do a drug test, and find out if they're on meth. And are they on heroin? Are they boozing it up under LA County in a pack, having a big orgy, getting revved up for their snuff movie? Yes, they are. 50 men and 50 women in 80 places in LA County, sitting there, pack of wolves, just waiting for the prey they stalk. And they are not covering to protect anybody. They are not covering to relax anybody. They are not covering to help anybody. They are covering for bank robbery and to murder a family. And they are in 10 states in America. And that is California, Nevada, Utah, Provo mostly, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Ohio, Cincinnati, New York City, Vermont, and North Carolina. Could be South Carolina. I believe it is North Carolina mostly, and Arizona maybe, and they are in Wisconsin. And that's what I would like to say. That's my tip from me, John F. Kennedy, to tell you that you must shut them down. Every person in the world is in danger of eating a chip from food they buy at a market or restaurant or 7-Eleven or any place, as they say they're the FDA covering. They say they're CPS covering. They say they're Department of Health and Welfare covering. And no, they are not. They are pretending. They are pretending, and that's how they murder. So please listen and just do a drug test on every government agency, CPS, DCFS, Department of Health and Welfare especially. Drug test every one of them. And the ones who say they're a candy striper in a nursery, and that should be done anyway if they're around babies, and with COVID-19 especially. And they should be checked for drugs. Then you know who the culprits are. It is most likely the ones who test positive for meth and heroin. And that is very simple to do. And it should be done anyway, regardless. So that is what I do say. Drug test every one of them. Impound their cars if they have remotes and to electrocute the population, as it is the New Age Holocaust. They are killing people just by doing the remotes on the dashboard alone. The person can die from electricity of a heart attack. And that is murder, number 9. And that's a fact. So they are murdering people sitting in their car. So the car should be impounded. There should be a jack on the steering wheel, and they should be searched, and they should be drug tested. And that's what I would like to say. Then you can find out who are they. There's 5 in every office approximately. Some offices could have 89. They have many people who work with them that are young women who are not really nurses in a nurse uniform. They say they are computer technicians for City Hall, and they wear many masks, and they are doing it for the wrong reason, to kill people and to cut off a clitoris. They are a female genital mutilation ring run by Satan, and many of them just hate clitorises and want to cut them all off. Why? They get $80 cash for doing it, and one person could collect $2,000 a day for getting the people by fake medical calls, sitting there aiming and lying to ambulance companies all day. Then how many clitorises got cut off? She gets $80 per clitoris. She'll get $2,000 cash the next day for fraud 911 calls. And that's why she does it, for the money. Cash in her hand from Satan, the devil, kitty porn ring in a tall white van, brings it right to her hand at her door. And that's what I want to tell you now. Many of them hate clitorises and want to cut them all off. Many are sex addicts, addicted to sex torturing so horrifically you cannot believe it. Many are plain old pedophiles, and many are just in it because they want to make a lot of money. Millions they steal from everybody, and they buy estates with the stolen money. CPS workers, I say, live in gated estates they bought with stolen money. Now, how could their salary allow them to live in a mansion? That alone is obvious. And they say they're top secret CIA. They say they're the Patriot Act. They say they're CPS. They say they're Department of Health and Welfare Service. They're City Hall computer technicians. They're FDA covering the food and markets. Every kind of hat they wear. And it's a big lie. City workers, they say they work on the pipes, the sewer line, the main sewer line. They're underground. They are walking around in big pipes, and they are doing electronic harassment on their cell phones and iPads, walking in the pipes. And they are gang stalking 1,000 people in LA County. And that's the Holocaust. They are the new Adolf Hitler. They want to off a breed of people. They want to off the females that are divorced, who filed for divorce usually, and who are unwed mothers. They say the whole family is tainted if the mother is with another man who's not the father. And that's what the satanic leader tells them. If the mother is with a different man who's not the dad in their birth canal, the whole family's got to go. They're tainted, and to kill them all. And they all fall for this cult. They are brainwashed as kids and teenagers, shot up with drugs, and then told if a mother has another man in her birth canal, the family's tainted, and to kill all of them. And that is their goal, is to off that breed of people, of women. And they are just like Hitler offing the Jews. They don't like independent single women, single mothers. They don't like unwed mothers. They don't like women who have a multiple orgasm with a man who is not the dad. And they do view it in their spy cam and count and put them on the list if they have 3 in a row. And that's how they decide this. Then they kill the entire family. And kill the newborns, the babies, toddlers, children, teens, 18 and over. Then they will kill the daughter's children also, and the great-grandmother, the entire family in front of each other in a sex torture film. Many 2-year-old girls they keep for a year for kiddie porn. With 9-year-old boys, they call them sons. They say great girls and sons, and they will keep them for 1 year in kiddie porn. And they could all be rescued. They are underground under their houses. They're top secret agent houses, and they have a hatch in the front yard under the lawn. And that's how they smuggle people underground. They put them down a pipe also at 1 a.m. all over LA County. The kiddie porn and snuff movie rooms, which I say are located under many flagpoles and mailboxes. And they build rooms, and they get to them by walking in sewer pipes. And they are outright murderers who must be stopped, as they are running this through government agency offices and courthouses. And that is why it's been predicted courthouses will close, the government will change. That office has to go. And my medium Nancy, she has a great idea, the best idea ever. She always says, go back to orphanages. She has posted it online, her petitions, shut down CPS, and have orphanages temporary ones in every neighborhood where, say, the mother is driving drunk or something like this, or the father's dangerous with a weapon, for example, or drugs. Then you would just take the child on your own, even the mother or neighbor, friend, a safe person. 5 people they know would be the safest, so nobody snatches them, and you would take them to the neighborhood orphanage. Then they would stay there until, say, okay, the mother's going to Betty Ford for 2 weeks, getting sober. Then Aunt Mary will stay with them and make sure the child's safe. The mother will have a breathalyzer and on her steering wheel and so on. And then she'll go to AA meetings, even on Zoom in COVID-19, and she'll stay sober, and Aunt Mary will be there and make sure. Then they solve the problem, the child comes home. Temporary orphanage down the block. They could communicate on FaceTime, on the phone, and the important thing is roll call. Where are the kids? Kids, if the parents have trouble, they should be at a safe place, like a temporary orphanage, to say, here they are, roll call time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. And here they are at 8 a.m., here they are at 4 p.m., here they are going to bed, saying goodnight, Mom, and they're safe, they're there, they're not whisked away by a not needed medical call. They're not taken away and adopted and laundered through CPS's horrible system, as they do it for ill purpose. And they do this to many boys also. They will traffic and snuff the girls and mother, cut off clitorises, and many of the sons, after they do a horrible photograph of them, they will adopt them 5 times, so they are lost in the system. So many of the boys could be found who were taken by CPS and DCFS. They've probably been adopted, their name could have been changed, but they don't kill them right away. They kill them when they're 18. So that's another part I would like to say, is many sons are underground, 2-year-olds especially, 9 years old, 5, 4, and there are many boys. They do sex torture also. And there are many that could be rescued, but there are many adopted that could probably be saved. And that's what I mean to have an orphanage. It's Nancy Gale Fox's idea. Go back to orphanages, like Little Orphan Annie, because that way you know, and Madeline, she says, you know where they are. They're having fun with kids, eating porridge, singing, dancing on a table, watching a movie, and eating ice cream and so on. And there they are. They're safe, alive, and well. Roll call, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They are here. Then, when problems are resolved, they will go safely home. The important thing is they are not lost. They are not missing. They are not trafficked. They are not adopted out. They are not whisked away by a medical kidnap to never be seen again. And that is for sex torturing. So the important thing is that it happens slowly. Here's Aunt Mary going to drive little Susie to the orphanage in the neighborhood until Mom sobers up. Then she's going to come home. They're going to hug, read a story, drink hot chocolate, and have things back to normal. Then she's home with her parent. Then everybody knows where little Susie is. She's at home. She's at the orphanage. She's on the Zoom camera. She's on FaceTime. She's on the phone. And there she is. And that is the point. Because CPS, DCFS just whisks them away out of nowhere. Many never to be seen again. In history, I have never seen so many murders going on, worse than the Holocaust. And that, I tell you now, as I am in heaven on earth, I am standing there watching them all, making me nauseous. And I wanted to stop, and I wanted to stop today. Right now, as soon as you watch this, video of me, John F. Kennedy. Close the doors on CPS, DCFS, and every other child protective type office, please God, all over the world. Then head count, roll call, where are the kids? Stop taking them. Stop these monsters from knocking on a door. Please God, they must be stopped. They are the predators. They are the ones who are dangerous criminals, not usually the parents. And even if they were, say, what if the dad beat him with a belt or screamed at them all the time? He's not going to murder them, is he? He's not going to rape and torture them and slice their private area off in cold blood with no anesthesia, is he? He is going to make sure his kid is alive. Yes, maybe 1 in 100, the parents are dangerous. Maybe there's physical abuse. And that would really be the main reason. Is it a risk of bodily harm? That's the only time a child should go to, say, an orphanage. Is there a risk of bodily harm? Not a little screaming and slapping of a hand for spilled milk even. At least they won't get murdered in a kiddie porn flick run by CPS. And that's what I want to say. Children should not be taken away. The problem should be solved among the family and the true friends. As then, at least you know where they are. They're not trafficked. They wouldn't be missing, would they? So please, God, shut them down today for me, JFK.